You're not stuck because life is against you. You're stuck because you've slowly learned how to live without moving forward. It doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like something that just happened. At first, it was small. You told yourself you needed a break. You told yourself you'd start tomorrow. You told yourself you were just figuring things out, and that made sense. But then tomorrow came and nothing changed. And then another tomorrow and another. And now here you are, not completely lost, not completely hopeless, just stuck. You wake up every day with a quiet pressure in your chest, not loud enough to panic you, but strong enough to remind you something isn't right. You scroll through your phone to distract yourself. You watch other people live the kind of life you once imagined for yourself. People building things, people improving, people moving forward. And for a moment, you feel inspired, but then that feeling fades because deep down, a voice inside you says, that's not you. So you go back to what's familiar: comfort, easy distractions, small routines that don't challenge you, days that feel safe but empty. You tell yourself you're just waiting for the right time, but the truth is you've been waiting for a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. That version of you, the confident one, the disciplined one, the one who takes action without hesitation, that version is not coming to save you because it only exists after you start acting like them, not before. But right now, you don't act, you think. You plan, you imagine, you replay scenarios in your head over and over again. What if it works? What if it fails? What if people judge you? What if you're not good enough? And while you're stuck in your head, life keeps moving. Opportunities don't wait. Time doesn't pause. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to settle. Not because you want to, but because it feels easier than facing the discomfort of change. You tell yourself, I'll start when I feel ready. But you never feel ready because readiness doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing, and doing feels uncomfortable. That's what you've been avoiding this whole time. Not failure, not success, discomfort. That moment when you have to sit down and actually begin. That moment when you don't know what you're doing. That moment when everything feels uncertain. So instead, you delay, you open another app, you watch another video, you tell yourself you're learning or preparing, but deep down you know the truth. You're hiding. And the more you hide, the harder it becomes to face yourself. Because now it's not just about starting, it's about all the time you've already lost. That's the part no one talks about, the weight of knowing you could have started earlier, the quiet regret that builds up day after day. You don't say it out loud, but you feel it when you're alone, when everything is quiet. When there's nothing left to distract you, that thought creeps in, what am I doing with my life? And you don't have an answer, so you push it away. You go back to comfort. But comfort isn't peaceful anymore. It's just familiar. And there's a difference. Peace feels fulfilling. Comfort just keeps you still. And staying still comes with a cost, not immediately. That's why it's dangerous. At first, nothing seems wrong. Days feel normal. Life goes on. But then one day, something shifts. You look around and things feel different. People you once related to have moved ahead. Opportunities you once had are no longer there. Time feels heavier, and that's when it hits you. You didn't just stay still, you fell behind, not because you weren't capable, but because you kept choosing what was easy over what was meaningful. One small decision at a time. You chose distraction over focus, comfort over growth, waiting over action. And those choices added up. That's how people get stuck for years. Not through one big mistake, but through thousands of small ones. And here's the hardest truth to accept. No one is coming to change this for you. No one is going to suddenly give you motivation. No one is going to fix your habits. No one is going to push you every single day. It's just you. And that can feel overwhelming. But it's also the most powerful realization you can have. Because if you're the reason you're stuck, then you're also the only one who can get yourself unstuck. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. It doesn't start with a huge plan, it starts with a decision. A simple one: to stop avoiding, to stop waiting, to stop telling yourself the same story. You don't need clarity to begin. You don't need confidence to begin. You just need to move, even if it's messy, even if it's small, even if it feels uncomfortable, especially if it feels uncomfortable. Because that discomfort, that's the signal that you're finally doing something different. And different is what you need. Not perfect, not easy. Different. This is where most people fail. They wait until it feels good. But growth doesn't feel good at the start. It feels awkward. It feels slow. It feels frustrating, but that's the process. That's what builds you. Every time you choose action over avoidance, You become a little stronger every time you do something you didn't feel like doing. You build discipline, and discipline changes everything because motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. It carries you on the days you don't feel like trying. It keeps you moving when everything inside you says stop. And once you build that, you're no longer stuck. You are in motion. And motion creates progress. Slow at first, almost invisible, but it builds day by day, decision by decision, until one day you look back and you realize you're not the same person anymore. You don't hesitate like you used to. You don't avoid things like before. You don't feel stuck because you proved something to yourself, that you can move forward even when it's hard, that you can act even when you're not ready. And that changes everything. But there's still one thing you need to understand. Time doesn't care about your intentions. It doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't care about what you could do. It only reflects what you actually do. So every day you stay stuck, time keeps moving. And one day you'll either be proud that you started or you'll wish you had. There's no in between. Because life doesn't reward potential, it rewards action. So if you're sitting there right now feeling stuck, feeling like you've wasted time, feeling like you're behind, good. That feeling is not your enemy. It's your wake-up call. It's telling you something needs to change. And that change doesn't start with your whole life. It starts with your next decision, what you do after this moment, not tomorrow, not later, now. Because this moment, this is where your life shifts, quietly. No big announcement, no dramatic change, just a decision to stop being the person who waits and start becoming the person who acts, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't feel ready. Because the truth is, you'll never feel ready. But one day, you will feel regret, and that's a lot heavier to carry. So don't wait for everything to make sense. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for a different version of yourself to appear. Become that version through action, through discomfort, through doing the things you've been avoiding. Because the life you want, it's not far away. It's just hidden behind the choices you keep delaying. And the longer you wait, the further it feels. So the question isn't why you feel stuck anymore. You already know the answer. The real question is, what are you going to do about it?